Howdy, I'm Jimmy. Thanks for joining me in the garden today. Just got back from the lake, took a nice dip after working all day, or I should say playing all day. So I want to talk about my greatest epiphany up until this point of my life. I had it a couple weeks ago. It just kind of hit me, as how epiphanies come and pretty much shatter your reality. And then you see everything in a new light. You see everything new again. Just going to try to jump into it and explain it. I do a lot of spiritual talks, so, I'm always going within myself, testing my will, testing my truth. Like, am I true within myself? What am I trying to do without, And I'm always trying to get these answers that seem impossible. Like, what is all of this is a pretty tough one to answer. Why are we all here doing whatever we're doing? But if I am eternal, if I am a creator who has created all of this in a way, like I am right now with my eyes, with my senses, I'm creating all of this around me that I feel. And if it's all from the mind, so I guess a big part of the way I see life and how everything works here is it's all sort of consciousness. There is nothing mechanic. There's nothing robotic. Everything has some sort of consciousness here, some awareness. And I just think humans were like the full package of awareness, except we don't have all the answers like I'm getting at. It's just we have multiple layers and identities that we could take on, and it's a lot deeper of a awareness and a consciousness that we have than I'd say the plants and the animals and a lot of other stuff going on here. So I try to use my mind to figure out these things, and I'm trying to use my mind to figure out spirituality, right? And trying to figure out just what I am, I guess, is my biggest question. I just think if one person could figure out what they are, that'd be greater than everybody grouping up and making something up and serving some god, some made-up stuff. It's just if one person could actually go within themselves, find out the answers, and then try to share them and encourage others to find their own answers, that they have found. I feel like that's the best we could do. Nobody has the answers. But my epiphany that I want to talk about, it hit me that the reason you don't remember your past lives, or you don't remember who you were before this life, or that you really don't know much about anything, it's just everything's sort of new, it's because your body, your mind, everything has been created here within this realm, okay? I had this, like, duh. How could my mind, which is temporary, just like my body, which is temporary, how could it know the eternal things? And it's a tricky thing to pick up on what I'm putting down. It's just accepting the limitations that you have right now. Because I didn't accept my limitations and I kept on, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to know exactly who God is. I'm going to know who exactly I am in a way and who I was in the past. And it's just, you finally realize it's impossible. It's sort of like, I've talked about that TV show Severance, to where they get a brain chip and then they take a job and then they go down into a certain place to where when they get there, their memory's wiped. So they don't know who they were outside of work. I kind of feel like that's what's going on in this realm. You made a choice to not know anything outside of this new creation that you are, and to just kind of go with it and trust your instinct or your intuition or your true essence. And it just can't be put into words what we are. So let me try and explain this in a different way. When you're born, you're neutral. You're brand new. There's no past. That is the start of every experience that you've had. Everything that happens in the body, everything that happens in the mind, it all starts when you're born. So you have to accept that you cannot know what was happening before all of this. It's impossible. You have a new mind, a new body. If you believe in reincarnation, you've had all those past lives, okay? But they're separate from this one. They're segmented, I guess, is one way of putting it, to where it's part of the game here. This is one giant game we're playing with awareness and creativity and whatever reality even means. It's a game, and each time you come in here and play the game, it's brand spanking new, okay? You don't get all of these, like, you're not going to have the experiences, you're not going to have the mind, you're not going to have the body that you used to, is what I'm trying to say. It's all new, it's all recreated here. And that's why the mind is having such a hard time in this age, because you've grown up with the opposite. You've got all these people telling you exactly what reality is. You've got all this fake science claiming that this is a mechanical world. Our hearts are pumps, and we just pump blood like robots. We work for money, like it's all just made up crap. It's spiritual slavery going on through money and tricks and coward. It's just mostly like stupidity and cowardice. Like people just being so afraid. I don't know what they're afraid of. Like they're living the worst possible lives I could have imagined. The stuff that I witness. People just living a lie. But it makes perfect sense, because how are you going to accept what I'm saying here? How are you going to accept that you're a brand new creation, everything is new, and once you're dead, it's gone, and you're going to have to start a whole new one if you choose to. People need to start accepting that their mind has limitations. It's a big problem right now. People are thinking that they can figure it all out, right? It's and I've been wanting to do a talk about how basically, like, most people you meet, they're just robots. They live a mechanized, robotic life, to where there's no creative thoughts. There's only A, B, C, or D. They just choosing what's put ahead of them like a robot, not creating something totally new or revolutionizing anything. But people have been trained into this robotic, mechanical way of thinking. And when you're thinking like that, you're not going to come to this great epiphany that the mind is limited. Because at that point, like, you've become a machine. You're not a spirit. You're not a creator. You're just a machine inside of yourself. It's very clever what's been done, and how the tricksters have taken hold inside of people. But, I mean, they had to sit you down as a kid and make you a robot, basically. Like, they took your childhood, ripped it away, and replaced it with robot training. Make you sit there for 6-8 hours a day, sit in a chair. Why do you think everybody sits in chairs and watches their screens? Why do you think they sit there at their businesses? Like, I saw a video the other day that said the chair is the enemy of the masculine. It's like, sitting down is harmful for us. We've been trained to sit and watch screens instead of standing up and living life. It starts young. They train the kids to sit there and to be told how to think instead of running around and figuring this world out. I've only had that opportunity after I got out of school. Now I'm out here figuring it all out. And it's quite the journey to do it this way. To be misled, turned into a robot, given a machine mind as a kid, and now I'm finally breaking the machine that was put in me. And it took a lot of salt baths, a lot of smoking salt baths to finally just like, whoa, wait a second. Everything here is a new creation. Your mind, your body, whatever, your soul, your spirit, whatever you want to, whatever is going on with you, it's a temporary thing that was just created. I'm 37, so that's all I know. Even if I'm eternal, I've had millions of lives. Who knows how many lives we've all lived, how many thousands of different experiences we've had. You can't pull from any of it because you're in a limited form right now on purpose. And then you try to think about, like, if I was able to remember every single thing that I've ever experienced, it would ruin this. Nothing would ever be new. I just feel like that's part of the game. And we limited the mind on purpose. We don't want the mind to do what it's doing in this age, to take over. It's gone too far. Like, the mind is The mind and the computers and the calculators, like it's become like people are just robots, everyday robots on their phones. Lost their creative powers, out of touch. Which I'm pretty 50-50 if it is literally robots I'm surrounded by. I don't know, or was their mind turned into a machine mind? It doesn't really matter, because I'm not them. I'm just me. Is all I could know. Like, when I die, it's gonna be me going on and figuring all that stuff out. If those people die, that's on them, right? They have to figure these things out, and they might just be robots of this realm, put here to make the game and the drama even more crazier than it already is. I just would not be surprised. But to have this epiphany, and it's like, I'm just saying it, I know it's just going to sound crazy, but if you're seeking answers, you're seeking things, you got to realize they're not going to come. You need to let go and accept things. And I'm talking to myself here. Like, I still have trillions of questions, but the spiritual questions, they're being answered finally. But it's like the answer is like, you're not going to figure it out. Is that really an answer? It is for me, because I know. It hit me. It just hit me. I was in the salt bath, and I was like, this mind cannot know anything beyond this lifetime. Makes a lot of sense. It's very sound to me to know that. But it's like, everybody's got to have that experience on their own if they care. You know, or keep on running your mind like a computer. See where it gets you, right? Probably get you brain chipped and sitting in a pod one day. They told me that I'm God now, and you're just like stuck in some weird artificial reality. But we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna do it. It's just, man. Gotta give up. Get back to peace and quiet and pleasure again here, instead of all this weird mind suffering and just money calculations. Like, everybody's just calculating their money and trying to get rich, and it's just pathetic. Instead of just being, instead of just living. So I hope this helped you out. Pretty wild thought, but I think it makes a lot of sense. But that's me. I love you all. Enjoy.